Alright, so we're going to do a quick little tutorial on how to graph using the standard deviation and standard error of the mean. I've got these two formulas here. This formula at the top is for standard deviation, and this formula here at the bottom is for standard error of the mean. And in order to do the standard error, we're going to need to get the standard deviation first. But in order to do standard deviation, we're going to need to get the mean or the average. All right. So in order to get the mean or the average, we're going to come over to the side and we're going to click this box here, and then we're going to come up to the function tab, click that, and click average. And then we simply come over here and we highlight the numbers that we want to average and click enter. And now we have our average for the water only. For the second column, we can do the exact same thing, or to make it a little quicker, we could copy this box here, come over to the next one, paste it, and notice that it's gone ahead and given us our average for this one as well. So the next thing we need to do is for standard deviation. Now, if you were doing this on paper, you would have to use this formula here, and it would take you a bit of time to get it all done. However, with the computer, all we need to do is click into the box and click equals, and then start typing standard deviation. So ST, and already standard deviation has popped up. I'll click standard deviation. Same thing, I need to highlight the numbers that I need to get the standard deviation for, and click enter. Same thing for the second column. All I need to do is copy and paste, and I've gotten the standard deviation for both of these columns. Now I don't need all of these numbers, so what I can do is I can go ahead and click on the box and then just click this button up here where it says decrease decimal places. And for now, I'm going to say that 2 decimal places will work, and I'm going to do the same thing for my next box as well. Alright, so to figure out the standard error of the mean, all I need to do is to create a formula, and since it is the standard deviation, which was the number above, and divided by the square root of the number of trials, which in this case is 5, I'm just going to type in equals. Go ahead and put in parentheses. I'll put the standard deviation, which was this number here. Go ahead and close parentheses. Go ahead and hit divided by, and then start typing in square root, and then the number, in this case, which is 5. Go ahead and close that, and click enter. Alright, so again, I can go ahead and do the same thing, copy, and paste. Same thing as before. I don't want all of those numbers. I'm good with 2 for now. This may change depending on what samples you have, but again, as this is a demo, we're just going to go ahead and make it 2. So to get 2 SEM, it's very simple. All you have to do is multiply the SEM times 2. So hit equals, click SEM, and then times is going to be the asterisk, and then 2, and hit enter, and then copy that answer and paste there. Alright, same thing, 2 decimal places works for our data today. So next, how do we graph? Well, first thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and get my graph with my averages on there. And the easiest way to do this is to pull this information out. So if I want to go ahead and copy my titles for my columns, I'll paste that down here. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy my means. What's going to happen here, though, is that if I actually just copy, let me do this, copy, and if I paste, all right, okay, so notice that I didn't get the numbers that I wanted. I got 0.29, 0.26. So sometimes when you're copying and pasting these numbers, it gives you a little bit of a problem here. I'm not trying to get these numbers here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 4.72, which is what I had, and 6.72, which is what I had here. So this is the data that I want to graph. So now I'm going to come over to this Insert Chart button. If I click Insert Chart, I could get my graph. I could also go to Insert and Chart and get the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up here. We're going to go ahead and click Insert Chart. All right, and it pops up. I don't want a pie chart. Let me slide this over here a little closer to my customization tools. So all I need to do is go to pie chart, and what I actually want is a bar graph, okay, for this particular one. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why this button does what it does. I'm sure that if I was curious, I could go figure it out, but I just know that it works. So rather than waste my time doing that, I'm just going to show you this trick. A lot of times, if I don't get what I need here, I can click this button here, switch rows and columns, and now I end up with two different series, which is important because I need to be able to edit each of them individually. All right, so let's go ahead and do some of the cleanup first before we worry about our error bars. So I'm going to go ahead and customize chart title. I don't like this chart title. I'm going to go ahead and use my data table title, and I'll say comparison of plant height. Let's do amount of growth in 10 days. Okay. So I've changed that, so that's a little bit better. If I wanted to make sure it was centered, I can click the format there. If I wanted to change the color, I can make it darker. I can make it what color I wanted. You have all those options. But I also need to change my vertical axis because the mean doesn't really tell me what it is. Okay, what is this? It's going to be growth in centimeters, and I'll just put centimeters. For my horizontal axis title, I'm going to want water, and then only. And I also want to have water with food, okay? And to create the proper spacing so that I can see the labels as they pertain to each of the bars, I'm just going to go ahead and enter a space there. So if you take a look, I've got a legend here so I can see which ones are for what. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go down to where it says series, and I don't want to apply this to all series. The first one I want to do is to water only. Okay, so I can change the color if I want. In this case, they're using a default as blue. If I wanted to go ahead and gray that out, I could do that. You are welcome to change the colors to whatever you like. But I need to put some error bars in here. And so I'm going to click error bar, and notice that it defaults to % and 10. And we need to change this. Okay, the error bar is going to be your 2 SEM number. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a constant. And I need to change the value here to what I had for water, which was 0.29. Then I need to go up to the water and food, repeat the process. Again, if I wanted to change the colors, I could. Let's go back with the red that we had. Click error bars, change the % to constant, change the value to our 2 SEM, and we get 0.26 there. So now I don't like the red error bar, so let's go back to edit the chart, customize, series. Let's see here. Let's go to water and food. And let's see if we can change that color. Okay, I like that a little bit better as far as the contrast, but again, if you could see that red line on the red box, you're welcome to leave it there. All right, so this right here, if we take a look at it, what it's showing us now with the error bars is that there seems to be a significant difference between our two types of plant growth, one with water only and one with the food. So this would lead us to believe that by adding the food or the nutrients to the potting soil, we've actually increased the plant growth. Now, the reason we know this is because these error bars do not overlap. If the error bars overlapped, then we would probably say that there is no significant difference between the water and the food. So again, this was just a quick little tutorial on how to use and how to create error bars in Google Sheets. And if you guys have any questions after watching this, by all means ask, and we can go over it in a little bit more detail.